Hello, writers. This is Miss Taylor, and today we're beginning our new writing unit. It's called a boot camp, and a boot camp is when soldiers get together and they train for a mission. And in that mission, they learn each step that it takes to be successful. And so today we start our boot camp. This is session number 1. So let's get ready, writers. Okay, writers, today we are going to look at session number 1. You are going to be writing and working with your writing partner. So take a moment, think about who that is. Do you have your soldier, your partner soldier, your writing partner soldier? Well, you're going to be working together today. First of all, I want to tell you what our lesson is about today. So listen up. Writers. Readers often share ideas about stories they have read together. Then they work together to gather evidence for an idea. I'm going to share my screen with you right now, and I'm going to show you what we're going to be working on, our mission today. And here we are. Today, writers, we're going to start with when writing a literary essay, writers. What do you do? What do writers do? Well, the first thing they do is they name the story they are writing about. And today you're going to hear a wonderful story called Each Kindness by Jacqueline Woodson. Remember that, Each Kindness by Jacqueline Woodson. You're going to state a big, bold opinion, or what we call a thesis. Today in the story, you're going to meet 2 characters, and you're going to decide some of the character traits that you would use to name these characters. One character is Chloe, and the other character is Maya. Remember that, Chloe and Maya. What are their character traits? You and your partner are going to be able to come up with 2 character traits for Chloe and 2 character traits for Maya. Next, give evidence from the story. You're going to be listening to this story, seeing the illustrations, and remember, when you give Chloe or Maya that character trait, you need to make sure that you can find evidence of those traits from the story, Each Kindness. Before you get to the end, you're going to restate your thesis. Tell what happens at the end of the story, or give a lesson that the character learns. You're going to make a work plan today. Now, here's the thing. We're going to take a break right now from our anchor charts, and we're going to listen to that great story, Each Kindness. You'll have your own copy of the story that I want you to track along while you're listening. And then I want you to make sure that you have a pencil or a highlighter so that you can underline that evidence, underline the title of the story, underline the author. Think about the character trait. Maybe write that down even in the margin. So, all right, writers, let's listen to that story, Each Kindness.
Welcome to A Teacher Reads a Book. Each Kindness by Jacqueline Woodson. Illustrated by E.B. Lewis. That winter, snow fell on everything, turning the world a brilliant white. One morning, as we settled into our seats, the classroom door opened and the principal came in. She had a girl with her, and she said to us, "This is Maya." Maya looked down at the floor. I think I heard her whisper, "Hello." We all stared at her. Her coat was open, and the clothes beneath it looked old and ragged. Her shoes were spring shoes, not meant for the snow. A A strap on one of them had broken. Our teacher, Ms. Albert, said, "Say good morning to our new student." But most of us were silent. The only empty seat was next to me. That's where our teacher put Maya. And on that first day, Maya turned to me and smiled, but I didn't smile back. I moved my chair, myself and my books, a little further away from her. When she looked my way, I turned to the window and stared out at the snow. And every day after that, when Maya came into the classroom, I looked away and didn't smile back. My best friends that year were Kendra and Sophie. At lunchtime, we walked around the schoolyard, our fingers laced together, whispering secrets into each other's ears. One day, while we were near the slide, Maya came over to us. She held open her hand to show us the shiny jacks and tiny red balls she'd gotten for her birthday. "It's a high bouncer," she said, but none of us wanted to play. So Maya played a game against herself. That afternoon, when we got back into the classroom, Maya whispered to me, "I bet you can't guess who the new Jacks champion of the world is." Behind me, Andrew whispered, "Chloe's got a new friend. Chloe's got a new friend." "She's not my friend," I whispered back. Weeks passed. Every day we whispered about Maya, laughing at her clothes, her shoes, the strange food she brought for lunch. Some days, Maya held out her hand to show us what she had brought to school: a deck of cards, pickup sticks, a small, tattered doll. Whenever she asked us to play, we said no. The days grew warmer and warmer. The pond thawed. Grass began growing where snow had once been. One day, Maya came to school wearing a pretty dress and fancy shoes. But the shoes and the dress looked like they'd belonged to another girl before Maya. "I have a new name for her," Kendra whispered. "Never knew. Everything she has came from a second-hand store." We all laughed. Maya stood by the fence. She was holding a jump rope, but did not come over to us to ask if we wanted to play. After a while, she folded it double, rolled the ends around each hand, and started jumping. She jumped around the whole schoolyard without stopping. She didn't look up once, just jumped, jumped, jumped. The next day, Maya's seat was empty. In the class that morning, we were talking about kindness. Ms. Albert had brought a big bowl into class and filled it with water. We all gathered around her desk and watched her drop a small stone into it. Tiny waves rippled out, away from the stone. "This is what kindness does," Ms. Albert said. "Each little thing we do goes out, like a ripple, into the world." Then Ms. Albert let us each drop a stone in as we told her what kind things we have done. Joseph had held the door for his grandmother. Kendra helped change her baby brother's diaper. Even mean old Andrew had done something. "I carried teacher's books up the stairs," he said, and Ms. Albert said it was true. I stood there, holding Ms. Albert's rock in my hand, silent. "Even small things count," Ms. Albert said gently, but I couldn't think of anything and passed the stone on. Maya didn't come to school the next day, or the day after that. Each morning, I walked to school slowly, hoping this would be the day Maya returned and she'd look at me and smile. I promised myself this would be the day I smiled back. Each kindness, Miss Albert had said, makes the world a little bit better. But Maya's seat remained empty, and one day Miss Albert announced to the class that Maya wouldn't be coming back. Her family had to move away, Miss Albert said. Then she told us to take out our notebooks. It was time for spelling. That afternoon, I walked home alone. When I reached the pond, my throat filled with all the things I wished I had said to Maya. Each kindness I had never shown. I threw small stones into it over and over, watching the way the water rippled out and away, out and away. Like each kindness, done and not done, like every girl somewhere, holding a small gift out to someone and that someone turning away from it. I watched the water ripple as the sun set through the maples and the chance of a kindness with Maya became more and more forever gone.
It's a pretty powerful story, isn't it, third graders? I'm so glad that our classroom knows how to welcome people, how to be kind. But think about the characters in this story. Think about Chloe. Think about Maya. What character traits would you give them? We're going to go back to our anchor charts, writers. And at this point, you and your partner need to pay close attention because now it's going to be time for you and your partner to write a paragraph together with all of the parts of the anchor chart that Miss Taylor mentioned. So I'm going to share my screen with you again, and let's go ahead and take a look. Here we are. Okay, let's take a look. So we have writers, when writing a literary essay, what's the first thing they do? You want to make sure that you name the story and the author that you are writing about. You want to state a big, bold opinion or thesis. So it might start something like this. In the story, Each Kindness by Jacqueline Woodson, Chloe is, what character trait would you fill in? Or, in the story Each Kindness by Jacqueline Woodson, Maya is, what character trait would you name for Maya? After you put your period, then you're going to find evidence from the story. You might start with the words, for example, or I know Maya is blank because, or I know Chloe is blank because, and you're giving evidence from the story. Then you want to wrap up your paragraph with restating your thesis. Tell what happens at the end, or give a lesson one of the characters learn. What did Maya learn from the story? What did Chloe learn? All right, you're going to make your work plan. You and your partner might want to talk out your paragraph. your essay before you start writing. You are going to turn this in to me, so do your very best. Okay, writers, off you go.